What's up, MellyMafia? It's your girl, not Melly. That light breaker, everybody be watching. If you're new to my podcast, hey y'all, hey. And if you're not, hit that subscribe button and come join a podcast family. Woo, 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 woo. So this is episode 2, y'all. I'm not gonna even sit down and lie to y'all. I recorded a whole podcast episode that I'm not gonna upload, and I'm talking dumb loud, and my daughter is asleep. Like, hold on. You know when you washing clothes and the washing machine gets quiet, but you screaming because you can't hear yourself over the washing machine? Well, that's me right now. So I have to be quiet before I wake Miss Story up. It is 6:00 p.m. and Miss Story decided to take a nap at 5 p.m. So I'm gonna jump right on in to how my week was as a mom. My week was hard as a mom. I missed a therapy appointment, and y'all can see this room. It ain't that messy, but it's messy. Like, it's messy to me. Like, all her toys are not properly put away. I have not done that this week at all. Like, honestly, today is Wednesday, and I am drained. Let me tell y'all, I had like from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no, from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I had like 10 hours of sleep, if that collectively throughout those days. Because as I said before, my child just doesn't sleep. She sleeps when she wants to sleep. She has this abundance amount of energy. Hold on, my Ring camera is ringing. Who in my house? But she has this abundance of energy, and I just gotta roll with it. Oh, sorry. Laptop. But I just gotta roll with it. So yes, I missed therapy this week because we overslept, and I had to text her therapist, and I said, I'm so super sorry. I didn't wake up until, mind you, therapy is at 8 o'clock. Usually I'm greeting the therapist. I have Story walk downstairs and we greet the therapist because it's in-home therapy. We greet her at the door and whatnot. And she said, I kind of figured something was up when I walked to the house and the door was still closed, because every time she comes, I greet her at the door. We overslept. And like, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it just freaking happens. We oversleep. We forget because we didn't get enough sleep. Being a mom, just, yeah. Okay, y'all, we are back. I actually had time to freaking, let me clip this on me actually, so I don't have to hold it because I don't feel like holding it anymore. But I actually had time on my y'all breathe intermission, not my breathe intermission, to season the tub so I could clean the tub out. I have dinner on the stove cooking right now, and I had time to do dinner. I'm actually cooking dinner very late. It's like 7 o'clock. Usually my dinner is done at 3 o'clock on the dot. You better heat that in the microwave, period. You better go heat it up in the microwave, or you better go put it back in the oven and let the oven heat it up, because I don't cook late. But anyways, I don't even know what we were talking about, but somebody wanted me to touch on mental health, and this is why I recorded this video again, because I felt like I was rambling. I felt like I really didn't know what I was saying, and I don't like to feel like that. Like, you know, this podcast is not politically correct, or, you know, I'm not here to sound smart, and you know how people be using these big old words in these podcasts. And look, I barely graduated 12th grade, y'all. I graduated on time, but I barely graduated 12th grade, and I'm not here to be doing all of that. They wanted me to touch on mental health, and I feel like my mental health is like periodically like hit or miss. My mental health is hit or miss. It's times that I'm feeling very overwhelmed, very depressed. Only thing I would say that's consistent with my mental health is my anxiety. My anxiety is here. My anxiety said it's not going nowhere. It had gotten worse throughout my pregnancy. It's here to stay. But as far as like my depression, it's very hormonal. I feel like I have hormonal depression. I was depressed when I was pregnant. Of course, your hormones is all over the place. Like, so I would, you know, that would justify that one. And like when it's about to be that time of the month, like when we get our periods, of course, I get very depressed, like very sad, very depressed, very irritable, very moody. So I wouldn't really say like I really have depression, because it's just hormonal for me. Like when my hormones are out of whack, that's when the depression kicks in, I guess, you know. But I feel for moms who struggle really bad with mental health, though, on top of having to be a mom. Struggle with anything on top of having to be a mom. It's just like, here's one scoop of struggle. Oh, here's 2 more scoops of struggle, you know? I just feel really bad. But like my anxiety affects my day-to-day with my child, I would say, because I really feel like when we go out places, I give myself a 40-second window to unstrap and get her in the car. I even timed it down to 20 seconds to unstrap her, get her out the car, unstrap her, get her back in the car, get the groceries in the car, like 20 seconds. And we're in the car while I'm throwing, because I be feeling like people be following me. I be feeling like people be following me, but that's a part of my anxiety, and that's a part of, you know, something I have to cope and deal with. It's hard. It's hard on top of being a mom. I just really be feeling for people, and I talk like more in depth about it in the other video, but then I got the feeling like that I didn't know what I was saying, so scratched it and just made this video. But yeah, all I'm gonna say is I feel for moms who are struggling really bad with mental health on top of being a mom. That's all I'm gonna say, because I don't know what else to say about it, honestly, because I don't have like a lot of experience. It's just my anxiety that just it stops me from doing a lot of things with my child alone. I feel like, you know, a lot of places that I do want to take stories to, I feel like her father has to be in attendance, because I don't know, like when you have that male figure in your life, it's like, you know, that you feel like they're your protector, and he's Superman, he can protect us against anything. So when I'm not with him, my anxiety just skyrockets. If we are in like a public place, like the other day I took her to a dinosaur convention, and I actually felt really great. It was just me and Story because her dad had to work, and I felt really great. Like my anxiety really didn't kick in. But I did wanted to take her to Disney on Ice, and I know my anxiety is gonna really kick in there. So we're gonna have to take him with us. On top of the next topic was like finding time for yourself. How do you find time for yourself? Or how do you like try to relearn yourself? So boom. When you asked me this, my mind went all over the place, because I don't really have time for myself, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning as a mom. My child is only 2, she'll be 3. I've been almost a mom for 3 years. Oh my gosh. But I'm still learning myself. I'm only 26. I'll be 27 on the 21st. Libra gang. Ooh. And I feel like I'm still young. I'm still in my prime. I still have so much that I want to do, and so much that I want to accomplish. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. And it's just crazy. Like I'm still learning to balance my YouTube life. I'm trying to balance my social media life. Let's say social media life. Starting new ventures. Like I just started this podcast on top of being a mom. Like I really can only podcast when my child is asleep. The only time I have to myself is when my child is asleep, because if your child is Dennis the Menace like mine, you don't have babysitters. You don't have people that, you know, you could be like, oh, can you watch her? And even like my family is very good about still, you know, wanting to watch her, but I know my child, and if you know your child and you know how your child is and you know how they operate, you're very hesitant to leave them with anybody, because I don't even spank my child. I rarely pop her. She actually gets away with murder. Seriously, she gets away with murder, and it's just like, you know, I don't want nobody else losing their patience with her. So I don't really have time to myself. Only time I have to myself is now. You see how quiet it is, because she's napping. And it's crazy because she went to sleep at 5:30 in the afternoon, and it's 7 o'clock. So that means she's going to be up until like 4 o'clock in the morning. So when do I find time for myself? I don't. But I squeeze it in. I make it. Like anytime she wants to nap, boom, I'm doing something. I'm doing this. I'm cleaning up. I'm prepping dinner. Or like in the morning time, I set my alarm for like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I know she's going to be asleep at that time. And I get up, I meditate, I woosah, I have breakfast ready for us. I have dinner prepped. By 8 o'clock, she's waking up for the day, and I done did so much stuff because I had to get up early. Yes, I'm tired. Yes, I'm drained, but I'd rather have done all of this stuff while she was asleep than to having an energetic toddler running around. Mommy this, mommy that, mommy whoopty whoop 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 whoop. You know? So it's like give or take. You have to take the time for yourself. You can't allow the time to just come to you. You can't depend on other people to be like, oh, you know, I'll take the child, or I'll do this, I'll do that. Yeah, you can't depend on other people. And I've, you know, come to that realization, like, I'm not the person who really has a village, because my child is Dennis the Menace. I'm not the type of person who has a village, you know. So I take my time to myself, you know. And as far as relearning yourself, child, I think that's going to be another podcast for another day, because relearning myself was crazy. I didn't know if I wanted to go on a spiritual journey to relearn myself, or I don't know what I wanted to do. But it took me about 1.5 years to relearn myself, to relearn my purpose, you know, outside of being a mom. I took a hiatus off of YouTube. I took really a hiatus from my business. I stopped selling my #1 hair oil. Y'all need to go buy it. Whoop whoop, Mango Lux, Mango Lux. Hair started falling out. I was stressed out. On top of, I was super stressed because, I don't know, is it just with girls? Do all my girl moms' hair fall out? My hair fell out so bad after pregnancy. So bad after pregnancy the first time. And then it did it again to me. Yeah, 2 times. It fell out 2 times during pregnancy. After pregnancy, postpartum. So I had to shave my head balls. I got a dark Caesar, that's what it's called. And basically, I just really had to relearn myself. I had to love myself. Relearn myself, relearn my purpose. And like I said, I could get more in more details of that in another podcast, but it was crazy. That journey was crazy. I had to get back into me. I was finally picking myself up, finally starting to make the money that I needed to be out here really making, you know. It was crazy. It was really crazy. Like, mental health is real, even though like my mental health is not as extravagant and it's not terrible, but you know, it is real. It can tear you down and build you back up, and tear you down and build you back up, and tear you down and build you back up. And for real, you just gotta roll with it. Like, you really gotta roll with the punches. And you have to take your time, and not like take your time, like be slow. You know, take what's yours. Take your time back. Take yourself back. Take your life back. Like, you have to take yourself back. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Like, not be slow about it, but like take yourself back. And it does take time. Now I'm talking about time. It does take time. It takes patience. It takes energy. It takes all of that. But to my mommies who have multiple kids, find your time in between those kids. Find your time, because if you don't find time for self-care, if you don't take your time, you know, for all these things, then it's just like... And self-care don't necessarily have to be like going out, getting your hair done, getting your nails done. Honestly, when I couldn't afford to do all of that, honestly, I really couldn't. I mean, I had the money, but you know, my money was going elsewhere, honestly. But when you can't afford to do those things, do them for yourself. When your child is asleep, take 30 minutes, run you a bubble bath, scrape your feet, you know, with them little foot pet eggs, scrape your feet, close your eyes, meditate, woosah, find your rhyme and your reason. Turn on your little music. Like, that's taking time and self-care for yourself right there. Like, it may not be ideal because people want to go out and they want to spend money and they want to do the whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But if you can't afford it, like I couldn't afford it at one point in time, just, you know, figure it out. Figure out what makes you happy, the most efficient way you can figure out. You know, that's what I would say. Just figure it out. Something is better than nothing. Give or take. Give or take. Something is really better than nothing. Oh, I'm trying to spin in this chair. You know what's so funny? My mom was like, I'm just gonna throw this in there because we're gonna end off the podcast. My mom was like, oh, because she's obsessed with Zach. Well, she calls him Zach, but his name is Deval Ellis. And Deval and Kadeem, I think is her name, they have a podcast. And she was like, why you don't get the microphone like Deval and Kadeem? And I was just like, because I don't know if I'm committed to this. Like, I still don't know if I'm committed to this. Like, I'm giving y'all this and don't know if I'm committed. Like, I didn't want to commit and have all, I didn't want to be, dang, what the hell am I trying to say? I didn't want to not commit to this. I didn't want to, I didn't want to commit to this, quote unquote, commit to this and get all this stuff and then decide that I don't want to commit no more. Like, I don't want to do this. So I'm just rolling with it. I feel like I'll upgrade as I'll go. But I like this little clip-on mic. I like the clip-on mic. It makes me feel, can I do ASMR with this? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I had a Bahama mama, y'all, so I'm just chatting at this point. But yeah, I didn't know like what my purpose and what my purpose will even be with this podcast. Like, I really don't know my purpose. I'm just going with the flow. So whoop whoop. Hope you guys enjoyed my rant and my talk about my week. My talk about mental health, my take, my little bit of take I can give you guys on it. And yes, remember, this podcast is not messy. This is about mommies and mommy duties and mom life and things moms are struggling with. And that's it for now. Nothing messy. Always positive. Good vibes. And we out, gang.